Okay, so today we're diving into something a little different.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm really excited about this one.
Me too.
Sewing to fight period poverty.
It's not something you hear every day.
It's not, it's not like the most obvious connection.
Right.
But when you start digging into it, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, wow, this is
Fascinating.
really interesting stuff.
Yeah. It's amazing how something as simple as, picking up a needle and thread can really make a difference.
For a global issue, right?
Huge global issue.
Yeah, so before we get too far, let's just level set here. Period poverty. We're talking about the lack of access
Right.
to menstrual products.
Well, women and girls all over.
Women and girls all over the world.
All over.
And I think sometimes people hear that and think, oh, it's just an inconvenience.
Yeah. It's way more than that.
It is so much.
It's about their education.
Yeah.
It's about their health.
Yeah.
It's about their dignity. It's a basic human right.
Yeah. And it's holding people back in a huge way.
Massively.
I mean, can you imagine being a young girl and having to miss school?
Every single month?
Every month. Because
you don't have the supplies that you need.
yeah, or even worse, resorting to using like rags or leaves.
Yeah. Which can be really dangerous.
Yeah, the health risks there are
huge.
Are just enormous. So this is a big deal.
It is.
It is.
And it's not just a problem, in developing countries or whatever. It's right here.
It's happening everywhere.
Right here in the U.S.
I was reading that 1 in 4 teenagers in the U.S. struggles to afford period products.
Yeah, that's a big number.
It's a huge number. And you think about the ripple effect of that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, missing school,
Yeah.
lost opportunities, potential for health problems. I mean, this is like a public health crisis.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
It's huge.
We've established this is a big deal. This is a major issue. So how does sewing, right, how does this, this seemingly simple kind of home craft fit into this whole picture?
Well, it's all about reusable menstrual pads.
Okay.
These things are seriously game changers.
Okay. Talk to me about this. How so?
Okay. So you've got organizations like Days for Girls, right?
Okay.
They're going in and they're empowering women.
Wow.
They're giving them the skills to make their own pads.
Wow.
It's not just the sewing, though.
Oh, okay.
They're also providing education about menstrual health, hygiene.
Okay. So it's like this whole...
It's a holistic
approach.
Yeah.
And, I was reading about these pad parties.
Oh, yeah. I've heard about those.
They sound amazing. It's like bringing people together.
Community, right?
It's like this community building.
Breaking down stigma.
And breaking down those taboos that surround this topic.
Exactly. And it's not just, Days for Girls. There are tons of organizations out there doing incredible work. Cool. Like Efri pads. They're based in Uganda.
Okay.
They use materials like banana fibers, locally sourced.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, and their design, it's like super eco-friendly,
Right.
but it's also really culturally sensitive. They're taking into account the specific needs of the community.
That makes a lot of sense.
Right.
Like,
it's not a one-size-fits-all.
No, absolutely not.
No.
Well, so we've talked about how this addresses those economic and social barriers.
Right.
But what about the environmental piece of this?
Ooh, that's a big one.
Yeah.
I mean, think about all the waste from disposable pads and tampons.
That's a lot, yeah.
Every year going into landfills.
That's a ton.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and, especially in places with poor waste management.
Oh, yeah.
That is a huge environmental threat.
Absolutely.
So reusable pad.
Huge step in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing how something as
traditional, low-tech
as sewing can actually be so innovative. Right?
Yeah, it's addressing so many different facets of this problem.
Absolutely. But let's be real. I mean, there's got to be challenges, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, it can't all be sunshine and roses.
Of course. I mean, one of the biggest hurdles is overcoming cultural taboos.
Oh, right.
In a lot of places, menstruation is still, very hush-hush.
Yeah.
People don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, shrouded in shame.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And then there's the issue of funding.
Yeah.
A lot of these programs are relying on donations, and it's not always easy to keep the lights on,
Right.
And then there's access to materials, good quality fabrics, sewing machines.
Yeah.
Especially in remote areas.
That makes sense.
Getting those things can be really tricky.
So it's more than just teaching somebody to sew, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's
bigger than that.
It's like a whole system.
It's about creating.
You have to build an infrastructure around all of this.
You need that support.
Yeah. So what can we do?
Well,
what's the way forward here?
It's all about collaboration, right?
Yeah.
We need governments on board.
Okay.
NGOs.
Uh-huh.
Heck, even corporations can play a role.
Okay, so it's like everybody's got to get involved.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so how do they get involved? Like, what does that actually look like?
Okay, so for starters, we need policies
Okay.
that support menstrual health education in schools.
Yeah.
I mean, this stuff needs to be normalized.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. We got to get rid of that stigma.
Right.
Okay. Then we need funding for these organizations
Right.
that are doing the work on the ground.
Yeah.
You know, they need the resources to make a difference.
Okay.
And most importantly,
Yep.
we've got to keep talking about this.
Right.
We got to
Keep the conversation going.
normalize menstruation.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. Get rid of the shame.
It shouldn't be this, like...
So that people can get the help they need.
Right. It shouldn't be this taboo.
Topic.
Yeah.
So it sounds like it's not just about sewing. It's like sewing together.
It's about so much more.
Yeah, like a more equitable and sustainable future
Exactly.
for these women and girls.
That's it. And I think that's a great point for our listener to take away.
Yeah.
Think about how you can get involved, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's supporting an organization,
Okay.
donating some money,
Uh-huh.
or maybe it's volunteering your time,
Yeah.
or even just having conversations
Yeah.
in your own community,
Raising awareness.
raising awareness.
Yeah.
Because every little bit helps, you know?
Absolutely.
Every little bit moves us in the right direction.
And, you know, if something as simple as sewing
Right.
can have this big of an impact,
Yeah.
what else can we achieve?
Right.
Right. I mean,
Possibilities are endless.
like, what if we start applying our creativity
Yeah.
and our compassion to other world problems?
Oh,
Right?
exactly.
I think there's a lot of potential there.
So I hope our listeners will, give that some thought
Yeah,
and see what they can come up with.
absolutely.
Go.
Thanks for having me.
This was fun.
Yeah, this was great.
I really enjoyed this.
Me too.
All right. We'll catch you next time.
Sounds good.
See ya.
Bye.